Hi guys, it's your Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to 11 uniquely British things you'll only find in the UK. And I'm getting this one from Adventures and Naps. The link will be in the description below. Please go over and show her some love. Tell her your Island Girl sent you. So we're going to dive into this one. So if you're new to my channel, it's the first time here, come on in. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. To all my regular schmegulars, day one to the pies to the pools, come on in, wrap back with a smile on your face. Thank you for always being here and supporting your girl. Let's get into this video because I want to hear the 11 uniquely British things that you can only find in the UK from Alana. Here we go now.
Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alana and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 7 years. And let me tell you, I've seen some weird stuff. The UK is full of things that are weird and wonderful, and I absolutely love it. So without further ado, let's go.
Let's go.
Me saying I love it is maybe not the right choice of words because the first thing we have to talk about is Mr. Blobby. Mr. Blobby, for the uninitiated, the only way that I can describe it is basically like a drug-fueled nightmare that just never ends. You wake up and yet it's still there. I think such a weird, can I say weird? I'm going to say, I think this deserves to be weird. It is such a weird, like, pop culture icon that I think it's safe to say it's very divisive. You either despise Mr. Blobby, you don't get it, you wish it would end, or you think it's hilarious. I feel like that's it. You got to be on one side or the other. And honestly, every time I have seen Mr. Blobby, it has been against my will. I don't get it. Quite frankly, I just don't get it. But on one hand, like I kind of, I don't want to say appreciate. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I love that the UK is full of just strange things. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to like them all because I don't like Mr. Blobby. I don't get it. But I love that the UK is so unique. It's so unique. And I never want to see Mr. Blobby in person because I think I would simply pass away. But I appreciate that the UK has a very weird sense of humor, and you never get to see something like this anywhere else. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Do you love Mr. Blobby or do you hate him? I feel like more people are going to hate him, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Another thing that you will only see in the...
So, I've seen this one before and I just found it out. Things that you'll only see in the UK was Mr. Blobby. But the way she describes it is a drug-filled disaster. Blobby come to destroy. But it's unique. It's like she said, it's unique to the UK. And that's UK humor. You either like it or you love it with certain things. And I think it's fun. Their pop culture thingy. Why not? She's a Canadian. I'm a Jamaican, American. She living in the UK. She don't want to see it, but she come to appreciate it eventually. Is that something?
The UK, and I absolutely love this, and it's about biscuits.
Oh.
But actually, court and biscuits. Huh? Biscuits in court, or is it cake? Now, I didn't know when I came to the UK about Jaffa cakes. Jaffa cake.
Okay.
Jaffa. Also, did you know Jaffa cakes were introduced in the UK in 1927?
Damn, that's long.
Damn. Now, basically, in the UK, if you sell a chocolate-covered biscuit, you have to pay tax on said biscuit.
What?
But not cakes. So, Jaffa cake. Is it a cake? Is it a biscuit? If it is a chocolate-covered biscuit, they would have to pay tax. If it is a chocolate-covered cake, they would not have to pay tax.
What?
And so they went to court, which I just absolutely love. Can you imagine like an episode of The Good Wife, but it's Jaffa cakes? So McVitie's defended their case that no, we're not a biscuit, we're a cake. All right. And here's why. And the court actually sided with them. And that even though Jaffa cake has characteristics of both a biscuit and a cake, they would be considered a cake and avoid the tax.
Wow.
This whole story just It just makes me laugh. It's so British and I love it. But unfortunately, I hate Jaffa cakes.
Oh!
I think they're gross. Another thing that you will only see in the UK has...
Hold on. Guys, I gotta be honest. That looks like a biscuit. What? Don't come for me. It says it's Jaffa cake because they won't want to be taxed. Hey, look, is it soft to bite when you bite into it? Chocolate covered. If you bite into it, is it soft or is it crumbly like a biscuit when you bite into a biscuit? So if it's a biscuit and it's chocolate covered, you have to pay tax. If it's in a cake form, then you don't have to pay tax. That's an interesting one. Let's move on.
Has to do with TV and perhaps that it is not free. So something that I learned very early on here in the UK is that you cannot watch TV for free. And I was very surprised. As a Canadian, I have never heard of a TV license before. That was a new one for me. Also, can we talk about the letters that you get? So most people who watch my videos are British. You will know what the TV license is. For the 5% of people who don't, basically you have to pay for a license to watch live TV or anything BBC related. So you don't have to pay a license to watch things like YouTube. But if you were watching a live event on YouTube, technically that would fall under a license from what I understand. If you want to watch the BBC iPlayer, you have to have a license. You want to watch classic TV, scrolling through the channels, you have to have a TV license. And with that, they send some wildly threatening letters. So I remember it typically happens when you move house. So I have lived in a whole bunch of homes and flats here in Kent over the last 7 years. And it oftentimes will happen, you move into a new property and you get a threatening letter and they're like, hey, we know that you're watching live TV and you don't have a license and we're going to take you to court. Or it might say something like, we have begun formal prosecution of you because we know you're watching TV without a license. It is really scary. And I realized that the money then goes towards the BBC, which, is it a well-loved institution still? Is that true to say? So the money does go to the BBC and it does go towards, media and that kind of stuff. But yeah, never seen anything like a TV license before. If you're watching from another country,
that's a shocker.
Do you have a license?
No.
Because I've never heard of it. While I was brainstorming things that you will only see in the UK, of course, I thought,
That's... And look at the price, $157. Is it monthly or is it for the year? Question. 2. I think I've heard this before. But I noticed one thing I've heard somebody said before, though. I think somebody said you have to have a license to watch live TV. I don't remember, guys. I've done so many videos. That's a shocker. But if you have, but there's no ads. That's one thing I can appreciate. Somebody, this is why I'm remembering. Somebody said, look, when you're watching TV here, there's no infomercial, there's no commercial, there's no ads. You just get to watch what you're watching and that's it. There's no paid. So you get the comfort of, you kind of get what you're paying for, pretty much. But that's still a shocker. You have to have a license to watch TV. That's something.
You know what? We got to talk about this.
What's that?
Beautiful abomination. So this, of course, is a Wigan kebab. I'm so sorry. The pronunciation on that really sucks, doesn't it? There's nothing I can do about my voice. So this is a pie, little pie inside of a buttered roll. So normally, you might eat the little meat pie. Delicious. Would love one. Thank you. And Wigan said, you know what? Let's butter a roll and put it on either side. Some people may call this a pie farm. The pronunciation on that was pretty messed up, wasn't it? Listening to me speak is probably really annoying, isn't it? I have never seen anything like this. Not even close. The only thing that comes to mind is a chip butty, which is a sandwich made with fries inside. And guess what? That's British too. You guys love your carbs.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I see
respect
that.
because I do too. I'll be honest though, I haven't had one of these and I would like to. I would really, really like to have one of these. Here in Kent, I can't say that I see these, you know, at any sort of like fast food kind of places. So I could make my own, but it's never really the same, right?
No, it's not. Nope.
I should make my own anyway. Stay tuned. I'm going to make my own. Not right now. Maybe tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Someday soon. Now, I am very lucky because one thing that I absolutely love to do.
Never seen anything like that. A pie in between two bread, buttered bread. Anything buttered bread in between tastes sound good. It to me, it doesn't look nothing like our patty and cocoa bread in Jamaica, but I think that's what they're going for. So this patty has meat like an empanada, and then it has cocoa bread, well buttered, soft bread, and you bite that bread and the crunch of that patty, and you bite into it. Hi, baby! Take me away, baby, take me away! Whoa, my mouth is watering. You guys know my food. So that's what it seems like to me when she talk about that pie. I'm like, woo, baby. Yeah, I want to try that when I get there. Hopefully it's where I go. It's at, because she says she's not finding it in Kent. So hopefully wherever I visit first, I can find it. Oh, baby, take me away. Unique indeed. British. It is uniquely British things. Yep, I can see it. Yeah. Let's continue, guys.
To try new food. And I don't want this video to be all about food. But let's be honest, the UK has some really weird food. So while we're here, I would just like to nominate one more thing, and it's this.
What's that?
I'm sorry, what? Just looking at it makes me want to cry. So this is a stargazy pie. It is a pastry-based fish pie, which, fine. Fish pie, sure. Obviously doesn't look like a fish pie, perhaps, because it has whole pilchards, which I didn't know what that is, but apparently it's basically like a slightly larger sardine, and the whole slightly larger sardines have to stick out of the pie and look at you. So I will say, I love the UK. All right. Worked very hard to be here.
I do too.
And I love that the UK has such diverse and interesting and historic food. Like a lot of food that is still consumed today has like historic connotations. Okay. And you look at something like this and you think, that looks medieval. And it probably is. But you can still get it today. And as someone from Canada, where, not to shade Canada, we don't really have that kind of history. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Historical, traditional, medieval foods that people are still consuming. Doesn't really happen. So I appreciate that that kind of stuff still happens in the UK.
Yeah.
Will I ever try one of these?
Maybe.
Honestly, probably. Because I hate myself. I think you should try everything twice, as long as it doesn't kill you. And I'm not allergic to fish or pies or pastry, so there's really no reason why I shouldn't try one. But there's something about the whole heads just looking at you that makes me question all of my life choices. Something that you will only see in the UK are...
I see where she's coming from, but as a Jamaican, we eat the fish head, so it doesn't gross me out. But I'm like, pies with fish sticking out of it, it just looks out there, medieval indeed. But that's one thing with the UK, you're unique because you're filled with so many different cultural backgrounds and so many people, so you have all different kinds of food, and I love it. I just love it. So that's an interesting one though, guys. I ain't gonna lie, that's an interesting one. Fish pie.
Brits throwing themselves down a very steep hill to catch a rolling cheese.
This is a good one. This, of
course, is the Cooper Hill cheese roll. And I love it. And you might think, oh, this is like a nice little festival. People from all over the world come to this festival / competition.
I'll be there one time.
All over the world.
Yep.
Perhaps like me hearing about this, you think, ooh, that's really cute. That's really fun. How quaint, how silly. I want to partake. I want to go. I want to run down a hill chasing a bit of cheese. And then you see the footage. And you think, maybe not. This competition is rough.
Not for the faint of heart.
Which is not something we should laugh about. However, I wanted to include it in this particular video because recently a Canadian woman won her heat, won the race. Oh. And yeah, she was knocked unconscious for a little bit of it, but she won. Go Canada. Now, while I was researching about the cheese rolling thing, which has been on my radar for a while because I love cheese. And you guys, when you find out that I like cheese, everybody sends me a link to the cheese rolling festival. However, you guys didn't tell me that the UK has what I would say, most wild collection of festivals ever. Oh! Anywhere. Ever. In the history of mankind. And I do think this needs to be a video, like, on its own. But I've written down just a taster list. Okay, taster menu. I'm ready. Of some of the most ridiculous festivals I have ever heard of. So, of course, we have cheese rolling. Yeah. How about the Dorset Knob Festival? It's basically a hard biscuit that people hurl competitively. We also have the Straw Bear Festival. So this man is led through the streets in Cambridgeshire, and honestly, looks like a horror movie. Then, of course, you have Bonfire Night. Now, I have celebrated Bonfire Night for many years here in the UK. It is wild when you think about it. I guess that's one of the things, being here for 7 years, Bonfire Night has become a yearly tradition, right? But when I actually sit down and I think about it, that's pretty weird, isn't it? However, you guys didn't tell me that the village of Ottery St. Mary in East Devon goes a little bit above and beyond everybody else, right? So we're talking about fire. We're talking about fire in the streets. We're talking about literal blazing barrels of tar. I love this country. And really with that, we are only scratching the surface. So I'm going to do a video about festivals shortly. If you guys have a festival that you want to include, please leave a comment down below. I guess I just never really thought about this before, but once I started Googling, I literally couldn't stop. And this is kind of lame, but while I was doing this, I was like, okay, so comparatively, what do we have in Canada? And I'm trying to think of like festivals that I have experienced that I've been to. Canada is obviously a giant country. Yeah. So I'm from Ontario. I'm thinking Ontario festivals. Okay, like what kind of festivals? And do you know what festival came to mind? We have a peach festival. And that's it. Where you go and eat peaches. And they have peach ice cream and peach pies and peach cobblers. And it is a festival about peaches. Which when you say it like that, sounds weird. Kind of sounds kind of lame. Peaches are awesome though. But it's hard to compare peaches with burning barrels of tar. Yep. Another thing you'll see in the UK that is so sweet and funny, and I think that's what makes the UK stands out from the rest of the world. It's unique way of life. It's the unique things that you do, and then the blending with the culture, and then it's like every era of whatever took place in your country is like it still lives on. It doesn't get kicked to the curb. That's what it seems like to me. Cheese rolling, bonfire. You have what your other one? Austin Ball. I think that's what it's called. And then the different traditional things are just amazing, and I'm here for it. I love the UK, and I haven't visited yet. So man, it is rich, and I can't wait to get there and experience that cheese rolling thing. Maybe I enter, maybe not. Who knows? But we'll see when I get there. Very British has to do with offering things to British people. And quite simply, British people cannot accept something unless you offer it to them a couple of times. Now, I saw this a lot, especially when I was working in an office. So maybe someone comes around with like a tin of biscuits and they're like, would you like a biscuit? And the British person has to say, oh, no, I shouldn't. And they're like, oh, come on, have a biscuit. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And they're like, oh, you'll love it. Have a biscuit. And they go, all right, then. Even though both parties know that that person is going to take a biscuit, they just have to do this little dance first. And thinking about this, I don't know if I've ever seen a British person accept something on the first offer.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay. Are you guys
Does
really
it
like
exist?
that?
I don't know. Have you seen it? If we're talking about things that you can only see in the UK, we have to talk about absolutely unhinged roundabouts.
Okay.
And I think you know which one that I'm talking about in particular. Whenever British people hear that I have a UK driver's license, they always say, when are you going to do the magic roundabout?
Oh.
To which I say, I would rather die. So Swindon thought, you know what? How
Swindon.
can we put ourselves on the map? Literally. And somebody said, you know what? Let's make the most frightening, intense, unnecessarily complicated roundabout system that we've ever done, ever, anywhere else. Let's do it.
Swindon.
And so they did.
Oh.
And it's still there. So no, I haven't been to Swindon. Anyone here from Swindon? Hello. I'm probably not pronouncing that properly, and I'm deeply sorry. No, I have not done the magic roundabout. No, I don't like roundabouts. I respect the benefit and the positives of having roundabouts instead of intersections. They do not come naturally to me. They make me clammy and sweaty, but realistically, most things do. Something that you will only see in the UK is afternoon tea.
Listen, man, like I said, that's the UK for you. Roundabouts are your guys' thing. No going around that. I think I need to check out a video on that specific roundabout that she's talking about. Hopefully I can find a video. That seems scary. Just looking at it, I am totally confused. Period. I'm just confused because I'm like, okay, not in a million. I'm used to this ours. It's just two inside. That's it. Not what I just saw a while ago. I'm like, okay.
And crumpets. But wait, there's more. So I
Yes.
think every sort of foreigner or expat's list about the UK includes afternoon tea, crumpets, you know, clotted cream and jam, and which goes first, and all that sort of stuff is very, very British, but it's a bit obvious.
Baby.
Right? We all know about afternoon tea.
Yes.
However, I was out exploring the other day, and I walked by a hair salon.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
a hair salon. And they were advertising a haircut, and afternoon tea and crumpets. Yes. At a hair salon. I've never seen such a thing before, and I don't know if I'll ever see it again. So if you ever fancy, you know, need a haircut, I was sort of holding off waiting to get one, but I sort of need a haircut. You can go and have afternoon tea and crumpets.
And get a haircut.
Get your haircut, which is just so unbelievably British. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you have the crumpets before you get your haircut? During the haircut? After the haircut? What do you do with like bits of hair flying in the air? Do you just ignore it? I don't know what happens. I just saw it and I thought it was hilarious. Another thing that I love about the UK.
That's an interesting one. I won't even let my mind go there. I'll just have my tea and my crumpet and then get my hair cut, whichever way it works. I think there's some sanitation going on inside there and the hair is not getting into those crumpets. So I'm on board. It doesn't thought of it. It sounds so far-fetched.
UK, and I feel like you can only see it here, has to do with street names.
Yes, that's a big
how
one.
about Silly Lane in Lancashire, Dick Place in Edinburgh, Crotch Crescent, Oxfordshire. Does holding my laptop like this bother you? How about this? Butthole Lane, Leicestershire. Titty Ho in Northamptonshire. Dumb Woman's Lane in East Sussex. Now, I had to Google this one a second time because I thought, surely not. But surely, yes, it does exist. How about Tom Tit Lane? Another one from Essex. And of course, Kent, where I'm from, we have No Name Street. Wonderful. I can't say that I've ever come across really funny street names in Canada. My understanding is that perhaps the English language and words meant things differently.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Back when some of these roads were named, perhaps.
Wow.
But when you think of Dumb Woman's Lane, I don't really know how that one makes sense. In Canada, our street names are so recent in terms of, the grand history of mankind that the English language is what it is when those streets were named. So we don't really have a lot of cool ones. But we have a million King Street and Queen Street. So many of them. And Main Street.
That's here too in the US.
Say what you will about Canadians. We're really creative. One thing that was really surprising to me as a Canadian here in the UK, living my life.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. You guys are good for them weirdo names. Not weird, just unusual names. Those names that are out there. Crotch Crescent. Crotch Crescent. Ooh, shit it on. No. This is it. Always get me. You guys are good for it, and I love it. Don't stop.
Exploring, trying new things, looking for new experiences.
Yep.
Something that was never on my radar as a Canadian, but suddenly is very much a thing here in the UK, are train spotters. Such a large portion of British people seem to be obsessed with trains. I find it absolutely fascinating, so I made a whole video about it. I had so much fun making it. Definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time,
bye.
Bye.
That was good. I had a blast on this one. I really did. The names, the cheese rolling, the pie in the bread, butter bread. Ah, boy, you guys are good for it. You guys are good for it. Oh, it's your island girl. Alana had a ball, and I definitely had a ball watching this one. It's no secret that the UK is really unique in the way that it does things. There's no going around that. You know what I mean? Your culture is just different. That's it. And I'm here for it, and I love every bit of it. The people, the culture, the play, everything about it is just unique. You know what I mean? And majority of it, the extremely unique things, you can only find that in the UK. And that's something that I noticed. Oh, it's an island girl, and I'm running out of here. Don't forget to go in the comment section and tell me what you'd like me to check out next. Your girl got to be good, be safe out there, be kind, love each other. Don't forget to give this one a big thumbs up because it really helped the channel, guys. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. There's a join button on the channel if you wish to become a member. That's another way of supporting the channel, guys. So I'll see you guys in another one. Bye.